What's up, guys? It's John Muscarello from Side Hustle Experiment. Today I'm going to talk about how to find a buyer for your duds, or how I went about it anyway, and a unique partnership I formed, and basically how you can do the same. So if you could like this video, I greatly appreciate it. Also, if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. Let's get into it. So back maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I had saved a bunch of, they call them reader books. I don't know, they have like levels. It's like the I Can Read book. And I remember someone saying that like you can lock them up on eBay and it's real easy to sell. Well, when I looked at the comps, it looked like you had to like sort them out by level. It just seemed like a big pain in the butt, and I was short on time. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even doing this. And I was going to just get rid of them. And then I was like, you know what? Let me post it on Facebook Marketplace. If no one buys them in a week, I will just give them to my dud guy. And yeah, I'll call it a day. But someone reached out. I think it was like 200 books, possibly. And I listed it for maybe 120. Was it 120? Or maybe it was 120 bucks and it was listed for 80. I don't even know. But bottom line, the person made me an offer. About a week later, someone's like, hey, would you take $60 for them? I was like, yeah, sure. And so it worked out to about 50 cents a book. And I was like, oh wow, like this is pretty crazy. Like this is, wow, like I get these books all the time. So when the person came, I asked them, I was like, oh, like, always ask, like, hey, like, what do you do with these? Or, hey, like, do you sell books? Do you have, like, a classroom? Like, what's the deal? Like, basically, like, why are you buying 120 of these books? Like, always ask. So it turns out that he runs a bookstore out of his house. He has almost like a separate unit where, I don't know, I almost envision it to be like almost a second room, but it's not connected to the house. And basically it has bookshelves and everything in there. And he's a retired teacher. So teachers, from what he's told me, constantly buying books for their classroom library. So they need books like The Magic Schoolhouse, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I forgot the other ones he mentioned to me. Like A&Z mystery books, Matt Christopher books, stuff like that. I'm blanking on a couple of the other ones at the moment. But anyway, so they need those kind of books, and they're always looking for reader books. So he's a retired teacher, so he has a ton of contacts with teachers. So basically he liked to go out on his free time, I guess yard sale or whatever, and decided to buy books that teachers would want in their classrooms, and he would get it for cheap, and then he basically double his money and call it a day. So basically, after knowing that, I said, oh, like, do you buy other kids' books? He's like, yeah, I buy board books, I buy picture books. He's like, do you have any? I was like, oh, I have a ton. And I was like, you know what? I could separate out a Gaylord for you. Next time you need the reader books, you come, and then you could go through the Gaylord. He's like, oh, wow, that sounds great. So this is a really great situation for me because I don't have to do any really additional work. Like, I have a trigger set up for kids books and the software I'm using. It does a certain pin. We throw it in that Gaylord and that's it. We have kids books. So the next time the guy came, we actually worked out a price for $20 a box of kids books. So this could be picture, board books, whatever is in the Gaylord. So that worked out real well. The first time we did it, he bought, I don't know, like 20 boxes and some and like 2 boxes of readers. Came out to like $400 or $500, which is awesome. So then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was super frustrated. I had like put aside all these kid books, chapter kid books, and I was like wanted to lock them up, but it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's worth it. So I was like, I wonder if he would pay 50 cents for like some of the higher end chapter books. Like I said before, like think like Cam Jansen, Nancy Drew, things of that nature. I can't think of some of the other ones, but he actually sent me a list, and I could share that another time. But he said yes, and then he sent me a list of books that he's always looking for. So now I started putting those aside. I put those aside in a separate bin because obviously he's paying 50 cents for those, so they have to be separated out from the other ones. Now this does take a little extra time, but I was like, let me give it a shot. I'm going to experiment with it. If he doesn't really like buy that many of them, then like I'm not going to do it anymore. So basically he came, I think Friday? No, he came Thursday. And I had all the high-end books put aside, all the reader books put aside, and he basically bought pretty much all of the high-end books that I put aside for the chapter books, which was awesome. Yeah, like Think American Girl. There's some that I don't give him. Like, I don't give him The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I don't give him Harry Potter. I don't give him the Boxcar, Babysitter. Like, those are more I consider high end that could get like top dollar. But like any like kid chapter books, like Amelia Bedelia, Ivy and Bean, stuff like that. So basically he spent, I think, $770, I'm pretty sure. And it was insane to me that these books would normally go to the dud guy, right? So I'd get no money for these books. Maybe some of them would go to sell back your book, but for the most part, I would say 80% of them wouldn't. So yeah, I think that's amazing. So how could you find someone like this? So, I mean, sometimes it just takes a while. Like, this was obviously lucky. He wanted these reader books. He came to my warehouse to pick them up. He obviously saw that I had a ton of books there, and obviously I did something with books, but I still asked him what he did. So that's how the partnership kind of formed, and it developed over time. It wasn't like, hey, will you pay 50 cents for these chapter books and the reader? No, we started with the reader books. Then we started with $20 a box on other books, and then we upped it to higher end kids chapter books. So basically my advice to you would be to go on Facebook Marketplace, go on Craigslist, go on, where else could you go? Maybe OfferUp. Actually, don't go on OfferUp. I hear that they don't like posts like that. But start with Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. What you want to do is you want to post a lot of books. So basically you could, I don't know, if you're doing bulk and going through Gaylords, like put maybe 50 or 60 kid chapter books aside. Try to get some popular ones in there, like Magic School Bus. I don't know, Matt Christopher books, and stack them up, take a picture, maybe do 100, and then you have sell for a lot of 100, maybe post it for like 50 bucks, and like the price doesn't matter. You're just trying to find someone who's gonna buy these, and who knows, you might find just like a parent who wants them, but eventually you might find like a steady buyer. There are people who are all over Facebook Marketplace looking for bulk lots of all sorts of things that are resellers and do stuff similar to what we do. So basically, yeah, that's what you do. You just post it, and you can even put in the description, hey, I run a book business. We come across tons of kids chapter books. I'm looking for a consistent buyer for these books. If you're interested, please message me. Let's see what happens. It's free. It will take you literally 5 minutes to take pictures, put that in the description, and then see what happens. You'll get some DMs, hopefully. You could also post on Craigslist, even though it's a little like sketchy, but you never know. But yeah, that'd be my advice to you. This partnership has brought in probably almost close to $2,000 in about 3 months. So I mean, it's definitely, and we're just getting started too. So he comes about once a month, and he'll basically buy pretty much everything that he likes or is a good fit for him. Sometimes the condition doesn't work for him, but for the most part, he buys pretty much everything. So if you found this helpful, please like the video, please subscribe to the page, and let me know. Send me a DM on Instagram @SideHustleExperiment. If you try this, put it on Facebook Marketplace and you find someone, yeah, and I hope you do, because you could make a ton of money on the duds that you have and outside of buyback companies. And I haven't even fleshed this out yet. I mean, I'm sure there's so many other people that I could find who would be willing to buy these books, or even kids books in general. It just takes time to find the right person and kind of move forward, but it's so worth it once you do. So give that a try, like the video, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.